So now we move on to our top 5.
Best of the year.
Best of the year.
Top 5 best.
All right, so we going 5 backwards again?
Yeah. Do you want to start this time?
All right, I'll start off with some honorable mentions. I'm not going to explain them. I'm just going to name them.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween, Red Sparrow, Black Panther, Hellfest, Den of Thieves, and Aquaman. No particular order there.
Okay.
Those were all of those are either 3.5s or 4s. And honestly, there are so many movies that were in that range. So even my real 5 and 4, you could almost interchange. Like, they just barely stood out more than the group I just named. So, without further ado, number 5, I have A Prayer Before Dawn. Which, despite my adjusted score for lack of leg kicks and wide shots, it is a brutally unflinching movie. Absolutely, it shakes you to the core.
Yeah.
It's not a happy movie.
No.
At all.
Imagine.
It's a guy in Thai prison who's fighting, quite literally, in the Muay Thai fights for kind of his life in a way. And if I were to sort of sum it up in one catchy little phrase, it's pugilists are people too. But that's this movie in a nutshell. You know, he's got a tough life because he does some drugs after being a sort of washed up Muay Thai guy. Then he has to get off the drugs and survive Thai prison, and get in fighting shape again. It's a hell of a movie.
Yeah, man.
And it's based on a true story.
That's pretty wacky.
I'd really like to read the book.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you checked that out recently.
No, I didn't, but I will get to that when I finish my stack of books that I got going right now.
Alrighty. Well, my number 5 is similar in that it's a story about somebody going through a really difficult time, but a different kind of difficult time, as it were. My number 5 is Boy Erased. I didn't review this, but Joel Edgerton, man, this guy came on the scene with, first he was Uncle Owen, in the prequels. And then, he did some other stuff. He was in your Zero Dark 30 here, your Odd Life of Timothy Green there, and stuff like that.
And The Gift.
He directed The Gift, which was really, really good.
Fantastic movie.
And he followed up with this, which is, it's, subject matter aside, it's like, I'm always up for a good true story that's, 1, told accurately, without any frills or without any BS, and 2, going to show me something I didn't really know, or show me a side of humanity I didn't really know existed.
Right.
And this did that. I was like, wow, I didn't know this is what it was like doing this sort of thing.
Which is this again?
This is about the kid who has to go through the conversion camp in Arkansas. Right. And Joel Edgerton's, he directed it, and he's also like the camp counselor or whatever. Yeah. It's just like really interesting to see, like, I never knew, like, we all have an idea of like how a place like this works, but like to see it depicted and like it's based on the kid who wrote the memoir. Right. It's just interesting. Like, it's an interesting world and interesting experience I've never seen in a film before, and it's one of the better movies I've seen this year. Right. So basically, that I guess that's another theme is unhappy movies. Seem to be the good ones. Reflected the year in many ways. Well, it's interesting you say that because even though my number 4 is not, it's definitely not really an unhappy movie, but it is kind of compared to the other installments in this franchise. I'm giving my number 4 spot just by a hair, just by a tiny, tiny hair. Barely over Prayer Before Dawn, barely over all the honorable mentions. Avengers Infinity War. Wow. I thought of all the... Well, because I decided to compare and contrast the criteria of all 4, or all like 3 or 4 of the superhero movies. I decided it was better than Aquaman just because I was never really bored at any point in Infinity War. And again, it was just a couple scenes in Aquaman, but they were there, and they were noticeable slowdowns. Sure. Black Panther, which had a better third act. Come on. Yeah. Infinity War, obviously. So I guess that's really the main reason I had it beat the other
superhero films.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I rewatched it and I thought about it again, and really, like, my only problems that I had. I mean, there's a few of them. They're small and they sort of add up a little, but overall, it's a damn good movie with some really, like Aquaman, some really spectacular action scenes.
Oh yeah, a lot of them. And
again, it's like, yeah, we know that the cliffhanger's kind of bullshit, but I thought it was kind of a cool way to end the movie. In a weird way.
Sure.
I really thought Thanos was also incredibly well done. He looks real, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, he does.
I think I might have mentioned that when we reviewed it, but it really stood out to me again while I watched it again recently. So that's my number 4.
Alrighty. Well, my number 4 is another movie that I didn't talk about here, but I did see recently. I'm a big history buff, and if there's one aspect of history, specifically American history, that I needed more info on and needed to brush up on, it was the space race, man. First Man. This was a movie I wasn't looking forward to, really. I was like, all right, I feel like I know this story. Neil Armstrong they're going to be like, you can't do it, Neil. You can't land on the moon. And he's going to be like, I'll show you guys. And he lands on the moon, right? Well, there's a little more going on. Like, I didn't know Neil Armstrong's daughter died, like, while he was doing all this shit. And, like, the movie does an interesting job of framing that around him and, like, kind of dealing with, like, how his kids will think they're going to think he's going to fucking die because when he goes to the moon, like, there's a probability he won't come back. And it was really well done, and me being a history buff, like, there was a lot of stuff where I'm like, I didn't know that was probably what, what's his name was really like. Or that was what, what's the guy's name? Buzz Aldrin. Like, right. Buzz Aldrin had this kind of personality when he was hanging around, the other two. And, like, I don't know, it was just really interesting to see how this went down. And from what I understand and from what I've read, it's very accurate. Again, accurate. I'll give true story movies this. When they're accurate, the ones I've seen this year are the better ones that I've seen. So this one is an accurate one. So there it be.
Okay.
First Man at number 4.
So number 3 for me, Unsane.
Yeah, wow. Damn.
I really liked Unsane. Like, the more and more I thought about it, it was so many things all at once. Mm-hmm. Like, you had your psychological thriller, your horror. It was funny, frankly, at a lot of times.
Oh, yeah. Very funny.
I know you can say that they attached lenses and all sorts of shit to the iPhone, but it is pretty cool that they made something so shoestring as a budget. Mm-hmm. And little problems aside, I thought it was a very competently made movie.
So you like this more than Avengers?
Yeah,
Holy
a little
shit.
bit.
Damn, that's pretty crazy.
Well, I think part of that has to do with the expectation, though. You got to remember that.
Yeah.
And also, one of my reasons for for docking points on Avengers, I guess it's kind of bullshit. I'll admit. Mm-hmm. It's just a thing. I thought I just liked the Rogue Avengers more. Mm-hmm. So it's like I'm gonna dock points, but I realize that's sort of like a weird nitpicky thing.
Right.
This I just thought was a perfectly constructed story. Mm-hmm. She's in the insane asylum, and this son of a bitch who's been stalking her is there.
Right.
And it's just ripe for conflict.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's very grounded.
Yeah.
Because there's scenes where she's just sitting there chilling, like, what am I supposed to do? And that scene doesn't feel very tense, but you know what's waiting around the corner, or just waiting for it. You know that the dude is just waiting for the right moment to strike and for shit to go down and things to go south and bodies start piling up. Mm-hmm. That's what I love about that movie is it's not like other horror movies, and that the danger scenes, so to speak, and the scenes of normalcy are just so separated.
Right.
For instance, when you're watching Child's Play at the very beginning, when you see him getting ready for breakfast, you know Chucky's not there. Mm-hmm. As soon as she's in that mental health facility, shit could go down at any time. So even the scenes of normalcy, something could go wrong.
Oof.
That's why I love that movie. That was a true Soderbergh movie.
Yeah.
That's the reason I liked it a lot. It really had an auteur feel. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I guess I like it a little bit better than Avengers. Just a little bit.
Damn.
I don't know. Maybe. Well, fuck it. They're about... it's hard for me to say. It's
interchangeable, perhaps?
Perhaps. Mm-hmm. You know what? No, fuck it. I'm going to go... I'm going to stick to my guns and saying just a little bit... Unsane. Just by a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just nice to see something new or original that was good. Or as far as I know, it wasn't a book or any shit like that.
Yeah. I think it was original.
Yeah, so that's my number 3.
Nice.
How about you?
My number 3 goes to Mission Impossible Fallout. This was a movie, I mean, shit, we've gushed about it. I love this movie, man. I love the Mission Impossible franchise.
Now, did you want to give it an adjusted score?
I guess I forgot that I ended up giving this a perfect score on the podcast. I'd probably drop it to a 9 as a belated adjusted score, but that's not like meaning it's sleeper douched on me. It's like,
what was your tiny minuscule problem?
I guess it was just like it doesn't stack up against the other two that I would give perfect scores in that franchise, meaning Rogue Nation and Ghost Protocol. When I think about the best in the franchise, I think Rogue Nation, Ghost Protocol, and Fallout. But I think the Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation are the best. Like, they're neck and neck with each other. And I don't know how close Fallout is to either of them. It's pretty close. It's a lot closer than 3 and 1 and 2, for fuck's sake. Who cares about 2?
Yeah.
But it's not that close. Like, 5 and 4 are still loads better, I'd say. Just in terms of, like, the different kinds of action scenes that you get. Like, that's that diving for the server room, whatever, and, like, Burj Dubai and Sandstorm car chase. It's like, yeah, we've never seen this before.
Okay, so you're saying that even though the action scenes were good, they were a little more bare bones in this?
They're bare bones, yes, but I will admit...
what I mean by that is...
They were more like a car chase.
It was a car chase, and it was a hell of a car chase.
Yeah, one of the best ones ever.
Yeah, it was a fight scene in the bathroom, but
one of the best ones.
Was not just any fight scene in the bathroom; it was the fight scene.
And I'll give Mission Impossible Fallout this too. Best score for me.
Yeah,
my
you're
favorite.
A big fan of those drums.
I fucking love the bongos, man.
Yeah.
12 bongoists, if that's a word. But yeah, Mission Impossible Fallout. That's my number 3.
Oof, man. Well, I'm gonna go with at number 2, Thoroughbreds.
Yeah, I was waiting for this one to show up.
Man, oh man, was this good.
Mm-hmm.
And here's something. I was seeing a lot, how there's a lot of comparisons to Heathers?
Sure.
I kind of think that's horse shit because this was... The only thing it had in common was high school kids planning murders of some sorts. That's almost unfair to kind of, it's a mix of this and this. No, it's kind of its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, any point of comparison, I guess you could say Rope, maybe.
Yeah.
Slightly. But even then, it's not really the same thing. It's just, this proves you don't need a whole lot to tell a good story. Mm-hmm. Even more so stripped down than Unsane. Well, minus the fact that this probably had a normal camera rather than an iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
But it just, what stuck with me is performances. The performances were so strong in this, and probably stronger than any movie on my list.
Damn.
Without question. Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, man.
Did I say her name right?
That is it.
Yes! Okay, Anya Taylor-Joy and Olivia Cooke nailed it. Mm-hmm. Especially Olivia Cooke.
Damn. I got to check this one out for sure then.
It was an amazing movie. It's just one of those things where the execution was perfect, the payoff was perfect, the cinematography was really good. It's just, it had the whole package.
Damn.
So that's my number 2 of the year.
Well, my number 2 is the one that may surprise you.
What's that?
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is my second favorite movie of the year.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of good things about it. Don't say any shit.
I won't.
I'm gonna see this.
See, I haven't said any, and that's why I've been playing it very cool. But all I'll say is this: it's the biggest swing with the best result I've seen this year. So by that I mean like this movie has a lot going on, and there's a lot it's a big swing. It's like, so it's Spider-Man, right? But there's like 5 different other Spider-Mans, and also Kingpin's there, and also other stuff's going on, and also it's a commentary on Spider-Man culture and like what Spider-Man means to like the audience, like us as comic book fans, and I'm like, on paper, me walking before seeing this movie, I would have been like, that sounds like a fucking mess.
Yeah.
They make it work. That's all I'll say.
They make it work. Okay.
They make it work.
All right.
It's definitely... I'm a simple man. Walk into an animated movie, I expect two good things. Tell me an interesting story, make it look good.
All right.
Fuck me, they did both well.
Okay, so it looks pretty good.
Yes.
We'll probably review that.
Yeah. At some point.
Once I see it.
I'll have it fresh in my head because I'll probably have seen it a second time.
All right. My number one movie of the year.
Oh, boy.
I don't know. Should I just score?
I already know what it is. Let's just gush, because I already mentioned it.
All right. My number one of the year is Mission Impossible Fallout.
Bongos!
You know what? I think your point is true about what I'd called the stripped down scenes. Mm-hmm. It's not as colorful as the other two. But to me, because as we had just discussed, the execution is that good, I'm sticking with my perfect score.
I don't blame you.
It was to me, the movie did everything right. It did everything that it could have asked out of it. There
were a lot of movies I walked into this year. I was like, this better be good. And I was like, it was okay. This better be good. And I was all right. This one, I was like, this better be good. And I was like, it was fucking
holy
good.
Shit, that was good.
Exactly. And I laud it there. It fucking did that. And Christopher McQuarrie is the man.
I think it's also 4 and 5 are just they're so good. It's hard to even come close to that.
Yeah. The fact that it did is a feat.
To me, honestly, it's not that much of a shot off, and it's only that tiny point that makes it not as good. Mm-hmm. But that didn't affect the overall quality. That's only in comparison to the other two.
Right.
And I'm the other way around because you like 5 best, right?
Yeah, I'd have to watch it again, but for now, 5.
I think 4. I think 4 is the best. 5 is a close second, and 6 is just nearly as close third. Mm-hmm. I guess if there's any like problems I had, but I mean, it's like we talked about this before.
Not enough Vanessa Kirby.
Yeah, not enough Vanessa Kirby, but honestly, I don't know really how much more they could have had of her in it. Mm-hmm. I think it was more one of those things like you were thirsting to see more of that character.
Yeah.
Rather than, they needed to have her in this particular installment more.
Right.
Similar to Black Manta.
Yeah.
I think he was there for what he needed to do. I'm definitely looking forward to more. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we'll see Vanessa Kirby in Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
So, I don't know. It's just, this was an action movie. Plain and simple. Even though it is a big franchise movie, that's kind of something that I found refreshing, honestly. Mm-hmm. It was sort of a throwback to just 90s action movies. Mm-hmm. You just have a warehouse or a street. Right. But you do some really badass things on that warehouse or that street. Mm-hmm. You have a really great motorcycle chase. You have an unbelievably insane fight in the bathroom.
You have a helicopter chase scene.
The helicopter chase, come on.
Right.
And I'm sorry, you suck if you don't like that helicopter chase.
No,
that was awesome.
Oh man, there's no other way to end that movie.
Because the way that the word I'd use to describe that helicopter chase is relentless. Mm-hmm. It's not just, keep a close eye on him. No, fuck that. I'm going to get him. I'm going to crash into him, and I'm still going to chase him. He's going down the cliff. I'm going to chase him down the cliff.
Yeah.
It's just, it does not stop, and I loved it. I mean, that's how an action movie should be. So now we move on to your top movie of the year, Robert. So what was it?
For my favorite, it was, I kind of told already what it was earlier. I think I said it in my review of this, where I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be better than this. I don't know if I'm going to see a movie better than this, but Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Oh, is that your number one?
Yeah, that's the number one. I don't know if you know this. World sucks. It doesn't matter why. Talk to anybody right now, and you ask them how things are going. They're like, I'm not really happy with the way things are. But it's like, God damn it, we need a little Fred in our lives to be like, but wait a second, people don't suck.
Yeah.
It's like, what if we just got to change our attitudes and like be nice, like at some points, like try and like raise our kids to like not beat the shit out of each other with words for once. Fred, man, like this is. I don't know what else to say. Like Fred, like he's He made me cry. Damn it! I feel like such a wimp, but like I cried like 3 times this movie. I don't cry in movies. Like everyone's like, oh, I cried during the Killmonger scene in Black Panther. It's like, yeah, it's sad, but like this is like, God damn it! I grew up with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Like
I cried during Minority Report because it was so boring.
I cried during Alexander because I fell asleep and someone stole my wallet.
I should have cried at the end of Alexander. I'm like, finally, it's over. Holy shit, that movie was terrible. But anyway.
There's something like so disarming about Fred. It's just like, wait a second, like this guy's like really nice and he doesn't like want anything from anybody, like other than to just like know that he's being nice. Like it's just, there's something about that where like we live in such a shitty place where like this guy can't be for real. But like, no man, he was the real deal. And it's the best, like I gotta give it number 1 because it's the best of any of its genre. Like this is the best documentary I've seen. Yeah. So like, fuck, I gotta give it credit there. And I don't think I'll know,
man. Have you seen Baby Snakes?
No.
The Frank Zappa one?
No.
It'd be hard. No, I'm kidding. But
I gotta watch more band documentary movies, though. That is true, but
no. But Baby Snakes is not just any band documentary. But anyway, go back to Mr. Rogers.
Well, I mean, a lot of these documentary movies they're all about shock value. Yeah. Well, a lot of them are. A lot of them are about bringing subject matter to your attention that you don't know, or scaring you, shocking you, being like, you didn't know about this. I bet you feel bad now.
Let me edit it in this order so that you believe this.
Yeah, like giving you a specific point of view or worldview or take, that's been kind of manufactured by the filmmaker, which in some cases works and whatever. But this was like the opposite. It was just like, we're just going to show you like this person and like, there isn't really anything bad about him, and you're going to make that judgment as you watch the movie, but we're laying Fred's cards out on the table. Didn't really have anything, it wasn't trying to scare you. There was a call to action, like, how would Fred want you to act in a world like we live like today?
Yeah.
But no, it's not real preachy either. It's just like, I mean, if you call like some guy saying be nice to each other preachy, it's just like, yeah, I guess that's kind of a no-brainer, like don't be a dick type shit. But I love this movie, and it's I said this before, like I don't know who I was telling, but like I just got this movie for Christmas. Anybody who I know that hasn't seen it, like fucking ask me and I'll let you borrow it.
Yo, right here.
Yeah, I'll let you fucking borrow it, dude. Like I'll let you borrow it. Like it's worth a watch. Yeah. It's good shit.
I was a fan of the Fredster when I was a youngin'.
Yeah, man, he's the man, and he should be celebrated.
All right, cool. So that does it for 2018.